Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond and Rick Grimes, and something that's been going around the Walking Dead community about a possible. It was some rumors that Rick Grimes may possibly be in the season 1 finale of The World Beyond. I wanted to talk about these rumors and what they could mean, but not only that, I also wanted to discuss the possibility of Rick being on The World Beyond just in general, because I definitely think it is a possibility. Because we know The World Beyond is working towards, the movies. It's the setup for the movies, and we've already seen a lot of CRM stuff. Just this past week's episode, we saw walkers being tested on with the whole A and B thing. So they are working towards those movies, and I wanted to discuss these rumors because they are definitely interesting. Now, before I do get into it, general spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead. Also, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more Walking Dead content just like this. But with that being said, let's get into the video. So the reason people have been talking about Rick Grimes possibly showing up on The World Beyond is because of IMDb. Now, if you go on the IMDb page, and we've seen this before on The Walking Dead, where certain actors show up for certain episodes of the TV show, and we think their character is coming back. But if you go to The World Beyond IMDb page and you go to season 1, episode 10, you can see Andrew Lincoln there at the bottom, obviously, titled for Rick Grimes. Now, this is really interesting because he's only there for episode 10. He's not there for episode 9 or anything like that. So IMDb is saying that he's going to show up in the finale. Now, again, we have seen stuff like this in the past, and we've seen stuff like this in the past where it doesn't turn out to be true. Like, for example, I don't know if it was the season 10 finale or it was the season 9 finale. But one of those finales, I remember there was the actor who played Dwayne, Morgan's son. I remember the actor that played Dwayne was listed on the IMDb page, and everyone was discussing the possibility of Dwayne coming back. Now, obviously that didn't happen, but it doesn't mean this isn't true, because the point I'm trying to make, the reason I'm making this video is because I do think it's a great theory and a great discussion, because again, The World Beyond is working towards the Rick Grimes movies. And it's interesting because I don't know, it's only Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead, but it's pretty detailed, the cast and crew, and we even have some supporting cast members who we haven't seen yet on The World Beyond. They're listed also for the episode. So it's really interesting that, it's not just like a main cast and they just threw in Andrew Lincoln. We have other people on there as well. So because of that, it is definitely something to look at and think about. Now, another thing which is sort of interesting is that for some reason IMDb has listed 11 episodes for The World Beyond season 1. As far as I know, there's only going to be 10 episodes. So I could be wrong if for some reason if they decide to change that. But there is an 11th episode page. Now, there's only one person listed for the cast. So maybe this was just like an extra episode added or something like that. I don't know if there's going to be an episode 11, but again, as far as I know, there's only going to be 10 episodes. So because of that, it kind of made me question it, because again, I think people can edit IMDb. So we can't take everything here, as a guarantee. But it's interesting because I wanted to also talk about the CRM in Rick Grimes and what's happening now. Because timeline wise, Rick Grimes is somewhere that I think we've seen on The World Beyond before. He's either at that health and welfare center that we saw, or we didn't see the health and welfare center, we just heard about it, but it was in that remote location because remember, Elizabeth told those guards to take Barca to the health and welfare center. So it's either he could either be there, or we saw that other location where they're doing tests on people. Now they're not doing tests on Rick because Rick is a B, and by the looks of it, those people who were getting tested on, or the walkers, those were A's. So Rick is a B. But there's also one other place, which is New York, which Rick could be, I guess. But I think because the group is headed towards New York, they might, I don't know if they'll get there by the finale, but I don't think they would show us New York without the group getting there. So Because of that, I have a feeling that Rick is either at the Health and Welfare Center or that other place where they're doing the tests. I mean, I have seen some people say they think Rick could be in New York, which is definitely a possibility. I think it'll be pretty cool, if they have the movie set there and stuff like that. But they're trying to figure out a cure in New York. So unless Rick has something to do with the cure, which Rick isn't a scientist or anything like that, but he could be a leader. He could have worked his way up to being a leader, so we'll never know for sure. Now, if you look up the title and the synopsis on Google, you actually do get a title and the synopsis, which is really cool. And from my experience, whenever I look up, and I've been doing this for years, when I look up the title and the synopsis before an episode airs, and for the most part, Google is usually right. Now, does this mean that Google is going to always be right? No, because we never know for sure, especially when an episode is like 5-6 weeks away. But I still wanted to look at it because I don't know anyone who would like write a fake synopsis for The Walking Dead World Beyond. Chances are no one's gonna do that. And for the most part, I've always seen it be right. But episode 10 is titled "In This Life," and the synopsis says, "A divided group struggles to reunite. Others set their sights on the greater good." Not the biggest synopsis or anything like that, but still a pretty good synopsis in terms of the others set their sights on the greater good. Because to me, I think the greater good is probably getting to New York because that's their mission. Now, they're still really far away from New York, and they're just walking, and it seems like each episode they're stopping somewhere. So I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get to New York. I don't know if it's going to be season 1 or 2, but here's another thing. If Rick is in New York, like let's say he is in New York, we could still hear him on a radio, and if he is heard on a radio, that's the next thing I want to talk about, is even if we do get some sort of hint that he's alive, he would still be listed for the episode. So we don't have to see him in the flesh or anything like that. That's something we've been discussing for a long time on The Walking Dead. Ever since they started messing around with radios, Eugene did it, and then the Fear the Walking Dead also did it. Or I think it's ever since they kind of confirmed that the worlds are connected, and they did crossovers and stuff like that. I think radio started becoming a much bigger deal once the world expanded. So let's say they get close to New York by the finale, and maybe they hear Rick's voice. That would be awesome, and that would be enough, I think, to get fans excited to see the next season. They have to end, I think, on a really good note. I know a lot of people are watching the show because of the CRM stuff. So, I think it'll be awesome if they end it with some sort of Rick hint. And I made a video about a month ago. It's on the channel if you want to check it out. But I made a video about a month ago where I was talking about an interview that Nico Tortorella had, who plays Felix on The World Beyond, and he said that they know where Rick is. Like, the people on The World Beyond, they know where Rick is, and that pretty much confirmed the Rick Grimes movies to The World Beyond, and it pretty much told us that The World Beyond sets up those movies. So because of that interview and because of all the CRM setups that they've been having on The World Beyond, that I wanted to make this video talking about this rumor, or this little I guess you can call it a rumor, but this little tease on IMDb that Rick will be on The World Beyond, because I definitely think it's possible, especially again since it is setting up the movies. Now, I would be shocked to see if we don't have like a Rick Grimes connection in the season 2 finale, which would technically be, I guess, the series finale, since The World Beyond is only 2 seasons. I would be shocked to see not having a connection there. But that's it's too early to tell what's going to happen in the season 2 finale. But I don't think a season 1 finale connection would be impossible either. Now, going back to the radio thing in New York, now to me it seems like New York is like the end game for this show, because that's where their father is, that's where their mission is headed to, and also with the Health and Welfare Center, we don't know that location. We know the campus that the group was at. Elizabeth and the CRM, they came there with helicopters, so they could have been in New York. We don't know like how long they were traveling. It was like Monument Day, so it was like a big thing for them to come over. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did come over with helicopters, and the Health and Welfare Center is in New York. So I do think the possibility of Rick being in New York is there, either at the Health and Welfare Center, or he could be, because it has been a long time. This is 10 years into the apocalypse, so it's been after that 6-year time jump. So I don't know if Rick would be in the Health and Welfare Center for 6 years. If he is, that is like insane what they're doing to Rick. But it wouldn't be surprising since Rick hasn't come back to Alexandria. So who knows what he's been up to all these years. You know, that is a theory as well, that Rick probably is being forced to stay because Rick would want to come back, right? Like, why wouldn't he want to go back to Alexandria? So we'll see what's happening. You know, this is getting into, theory grounds, because, the theories can come all day on what's happening with Rick. But the bottom line is, I want to talk about this little tease that Rick could possibly be in the finale, because it's definitely possible. And if I were to make a guess, my prediction would probably be that if we do hear him, it's probably going to be like a radio. I don't think we're going to see him in the flesh. If we do see him in the flesh ever on this show, I think they would want to save that for the season 2 finale. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this? As far as this video goes, I am going to wrap it up there, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. Definitely interested in seeing all the comments and all the theories, so let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. But again, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. For more Walking Dead videos, just be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.